The two were majestic planets, as evidenced by their names, and Shar Prince, foremost of the heavens, and Kishar, foremost of the firm lands. They overtook in size the first pair, surpassing them in stature. The description, epithets, and location of the second pair easily identified them as Saturn and Jupiter. Sometime in past multiplied the years, and the third pair of planets was brought forth. First came Anu, smaller than Azure and Kishar their son, but larger than the first planets of his ancestors' arrival in size. Then Anu, in turn, begot the twin planet, his equal, and in his image. The Babylonian version names the planet Nudimet, an epithet of Va/Enki. Once again, the descriptions of the sizes and locations fit the next known pair of planets in our solar system, Uranus and Neptune. There was yet another planet to be accounted for among these outer planets, the one we call Pluto. The epic of creation has already referred to Anu as Anshur's firstborn, implying that there was yet another planetary god born to Anshur/Saturn. The epic catches up with the celestial deity later on, when it relates how Anshur sent out his emissary Gaga on various missions to the other planets. Gaga appears in function and stature equal to Apsu's emissary Mummu. This brings to mind the many similarities between Mercury and Pluto. Gaga, then, was Pluto, but the Sumerians placed Pluto on their celestial map not beyond Neptune, but next to Saturn, whose emissary, or satellite, it was. As Act I of the epic of creation came to an end, there was a solar system made up of the Sun, and 9 planets Sun, Apsu, 1, who existed from the beginning. Mercury, Mummu, counselor and emissary of Apsu. Venus, Lahamu, lady of battles. Mars, Lama, deity of war. Tiamat, maiden who gave life. Jupiter, Kishar, foremost of firm lands. Saturn, Anshar, foremost of the heavens. Pluto, Gaga, counselor and emissary of Anshar. Uranus, Anu, he of the heavens. Neptune, Nudimet, artful creator. Where were Earth and the Moon? They were yet to be created, products of the forthcoming cosmic elision. With the end of the majestic drama of the birth of the planets, the authors of the creation epic now raise the curtain on Act I, on a drama of celestial turmoil. The newly created family of planets was far from being stable. The planets were gravitating toward each other. They were converging on Tiamat, disturbing and endangering the primordial bodies. The divine brothers banded together. They disturbed Tiamat as they surged back and forth. They were troubling the belly of Tiamat by their antics in the dwellings of heaven. Apsu could not lessen their clamor. Tiamat was speechless at their ways. Their doings were loathsome. Troublesome were their ways. We have here obvious references to erratic orbits. The new planets surged back and forth. They got too close to each other, banded together. They interfered with Tiamat's orbit. They got too close to her belly. Their ways were troublesome. Though it was Tiamat that was principally endangered, Apsu, too, found the planet's ways loathsome. He announced his intention to destroy, wreck their ways. He huddled with Mummu, conferred with him in secret. But whatever they had plotted between them was overheard by the gods, and the plot to destroy them left them speechless. The only one who did not lose his wits was Ea. He devised a ploy to pour sleep upon Apsu. When the other celestial gods liked the plan, Ka drew a faithful map of the universe, and cast a divine spell upon the primeval waters of the solar system. What was this spell or force exerted by Ea, the planet Neptune, then the outermost planet, as it orbited the Sun, and circled all the other planets? Did its own orbit around the Sun affect the Sun's magnetism, and thus its radioactive outpourings? Or did Neptune itself emit, upon its creation, some vast radiations of energy? Whatever the effects were, the epic likened them to a pouring of sleep or calming effect upon Apsu the Sun. Even Mummu, the counselor, was powerless to stir. As in the biblical tale of Samson and Delilah, the hero, overcome by sleep, could easily be robbed of his powers. Ea moved quickly to rob Apsu of his creative role. Quenching, it seems, the immense outpourings of primeval matter from the Sun, Ea/Neptune pulled off Apsu's tiara, removed his cloak of aura. Apsu was vanquished. Mummu could no longer roam about. He was bound and left behind, a lifeless planet by his master's side. By depriving the sun of its creativity, stopping the process of emitting more energy and matter to form additional planets, the gods brought temporary peace to the solar system. The victory was further signified by changing the meaning and location of the Apshu. This epithet was henceforth to be applied to the abode of Ea. Any additional planets could henceforth come only from the new Apshu, from the deep far reaches of space that the outermost planet faced. How long was it before the celestial peace was broken once more? The epic does not say, but it does continue, with little pause, and raised is the curtain on Act 3 in the Chamber of Fates, the place of destinies. A god was engendered, most able and wisest of gods. In the heart of the deep was Marduk created. A new celestial god, a new planet, now joins the cast. He was formed in the deep, far out in space, in a zone where orbital motion, a planet's destiny, had been imparted to him. He was attracted to the solar system by the outermost planet. He who begot him was Neptune. The new planet was a sight to behold, alluring was his figure, sparkling the lift of his eyes, lordly was his gait, commanding, as of olden times. Greatly exalted was he above the gods, exceeding throughout. He was the loftiest of the gods, surpassing was his height, his members were enormous, he was exceedingly tall. Appearing from outer space, Marduk was still a newborn planet, belching fire and emitting radiation. When he moved his lips, fire blazed forth. As Marduk neared the other planets, they heaped upon him their awesome flashes, and he shone brightly, clothed with the halo of 10 gods. His approach thus stirred up electrical and other emissions from the other members of the solar system. And a single word here confirms our decipherment of the creation epic. 10 celestial bodies awaited him, the sun, and only 9 other planets. The epic's narrative now takes us along Marduk's speeding course. He first passes by the planet that begot him, that pulled him into the solar system, the planet Ea/Neptune. As Marduk nears Neptune, the latter's gravitational pull on the newcomer grows in intensity. It rounds out Marduk's path, making it good for its purpose. Marduk must still have been in a very plastic stage at that time. As he passed by Ea/Neptune, the gravitational pull caused the side of Marduk to bulge, as though he had a second head. No part of Marduk, however, was torn off at this passage, but as Marduk reached the vicinity of Anu/Uranus, chunks of matter began to tear away from him, resulting in the formation of 4 satellites of Marduk. Anu brought forth and fashioned the 4 sides, consigned air power to the leader of the host. Called winds, the 4 were thrust into a fast orbit around Marduk, swirling as a whirlwind. The order of passage, first by Neptune, then by Uranus, indicates that Marduk was coming into the solar system not in the system's orbital direction counterclockwise, but from the opposite direction, moving clockwise. Moving on, the oncoming planet was soon seized by the immense gravitational and magnetic forces of the giant Antar/Saturn, then Kishar/Jupiter. His path was bent even more inward, into the center of the solar system, toward Tiamat. The approach of Marduk soon began to disturb Tiamat and the inner planets Mars, Venus, Mercury. He produced streams, disturbed Tiamat. The gods were not at rest, carried, as in a storm. Though the lines of the ancient text were partially damaged here, we can still read that the rain planet diluted their vitals, pinched their eyes. Tiamat herself faced about to distraught, her orbit, evidently, disturbed. The gravitational pull of the large approaching planet soon began to tear away parts of Tiamat. From her midst there emerged 11 monsters, a growling, raging throng of satellites, who separated themselves from her body, and marched at the side of Tiamat. Preparing herself to face the onrushing Marduk, Tiamat crowned them with halos, giving them the appearance of gods' planets. Of particular importance to the epic and to Mesopotamian cosmogony was Tiamat's chief satellite, who was named King, the firstborn among the gods who formed her assembly. She exalted Kingu. In their midst she made him great. The high command of the battle she entrusted into his hand. Subjected to conflicting gravitational pulls, this large satellite of Tiamat began to shift toward Marduk. It was this granting to King you of a tablet of destinies, a planet